Hey there, hey, Shalita here. Welcome back. If you're new, welcome. So, I'm filming this little intro because I had actually filmed a Q1 wrap up and I have just ran into all sorts of problems since filming it. Like, all sorts of problems. Like, first, during the filming, let's see, battery died. What else happened? The battery died. Ran out of memory on the memory card. Then when I attempted to upload, export, whatever, the files to my computer ran out of memory or whatnot. So basically I ended up having to run out, get a battery, get another memory card, and hard drive. So got everything, loaded onto the hard drive. Editing took forever. And then once I got ready to export, got to finish, edit it, lovely. Oh wait, let me back up. So, let's see. So when I exported everything or downloaded everything to my hard drive, and then when I was going to upload the clips to CapCut, they were like distorted. They were all robotic, just like really effed up. So what did I end up having to do was I had to put the videos through iMovie first, chop them in half, and then go back to CapCut. So after editing, got ready to export the project, and look, I think I know what the issue was. Maybe is that it was really freaking long. So anyway, yeah. So some of when I went to export it, there was an issue. So some of the files or some of the clips got corrupted. So I cried. I admittingly cried because I just felt like, oh my gosh, like it took me forever to like finish filming, and then it took forever to get it edited, just for it to just blow up like that. So try not to get defeated, I'm try not to give up, because I get that setbacks are going to happen. And generally, a lot of times, you want to give up. You're like, oh my gosh, like, what else could go wrong? And sometimes, I get in my own head, and then I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing this, But I'm going to try to persevere. I'm going to try to salvage what I can of that video and get that up. So that's the plan. So I'm going to break that Q1 wrap up down into chunks. So I'm going to start with January and then do a video for March and February. So this is just an intro to the January portion of the video, of the wrap up. So I hope you enjoy, and let's just go. Let's just get into the January wrap up. All right, let's get it started. So the first book that I read in the month of January was The House of Eve, and it is by Sadika Johnson, I do believe. And I actually listened to this one on Audible. So this is a historical fiction, and it has a dual point of view, dual POV. So the book follows Ruby, a 15-year-old black girl in 1948, living in Philadelphia, and Eleanor, who is a 20-something-year-old Black woman attending college in Washington, D.C. So, like I said, Ruby is 15. She lives in probably one of the most poor areas in Philly at that time. And she is in a college prep course, which is I believe it's kind of like a competition, or it's some kind of competitive program. And the winner or winners, I don't know how many students can win, or how many spots there are, but they're competing for a scholarship to get into college. And Eleanor is, I believe she's a freshman or a sophomore in college, and she comes from a low to middle class family. And I think she's from a small town. I think she's actually from a small town. So, going back to Ruby. Ruby's story is, I'm sorry if you could hear that truck riding by. Ruby's story is very heartbreaking. She wants to become a doctor. That's her ultimate goal. Hey, she wants to become a doctor. She's set to become the first person in her family to go to college, and she doesn't want to end up like her mother. So Ruby was raised by her grandmother pretty much from a young age up until she was 8. So life with her grandmother was all she knew up until that point. Her grandmother died when she was 8. She knew that her grandmother, I do believe she knew her grandmother wasn't her mother, but prior to her grandmother's death, she didn't have a relationship with her mom. So Ruby has a very, very strained relationship with her mom, and it's heartbreaking and frustrating to witness and listen to the way that her mother talks to her and regards her. Her mom is very cold and resentful in the way that she treats her. There's just no affection or care for Ruby, and it's just heartbreaking to see. I'm a mom, and I just to witness the way she was treating her daughter in there, and as awful as it is, I've witnessed that. I have witnessed that, not for myself. My mom and I had a great relationship growing up, but I have witnessed, those types of mother-daughter relationships, and it's almost like it makes you wonder, like, is the mom jealous? Like, what's the deal? Why is that tension there? But anyway, I feel like this book really highlights how unprotected young Black girls are, and how overly sexualized young Black girls are. There are several instances where, full-grown men are making advances at Ruby, and it makes Ruby, and she internalizes that, and the shame that she feels is, like, she feels ashamed of her body because her body is, attracting this attention. She even makes a comment in the book about wishing she could just, use a pen to pop her breast, Okay, so on to Miss Eleanor. So, Eleanor's in college, like I said. She is very shy, and she has a very great roommate. Her best friend in college is just, she's this extrovert. She's so outgoing, and you just love her personality. You love how they just complement each other so well. But she just kind of wants, Eleanor to, hey, get out those books. Let's go have a good time. She's a good friend. She's great. So Eleanor meets William Pride, and falls in love. So, I mean, initially, Eleanor kind of can't believe that, like, this guy, you know, this debonair, this suave guy is giving her the time of day. You know, she feels like, you know, hey, I'm just this poor little country girl, and I'm this little bookworm, and here this, this rich, this rich young black man is giving me this attention. So, she almost, almost feels, I don't know if I would say she feels unworthy of it, but she just, I don't know, maybe some self-esteem issues there. Like, wow, like, I don't measure up to him. So, and she's not the only one who feels that way. So, enter William's, elitist mother. So, I mean, like a real monster-in-law. Like I said, William is this young, rich black man who comes from a very well-off, well-to-do black family. One of DC's, top black families. And, that family and their friends, they definitely have that, that mentality of keeping that barrier between the haves and the have-nots. And William's mother does everything she can to try to, keep William and Eleanor apart, which doesn't work because William is just, he becomes madly in love with her. So, excuse me. All right. So, something traumatic does happen to this couple. Something traumatic happens to Ruby as well that kind of derails her. Almost, I don't want to say does, or anyway, it hampers her plans. Something traumatic happens, life-altering happens to basically derail her plans. And, I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want to give away any spoilers or anything like that. At some point, these stories will intersect and in a little twist. And it was just a very good read. It was heartbreaking at times. I was driving and crying at times. So definitely check the trigger warnings on this one because it was a super heavy read. So the next book that I read in January was The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, or Sister Frida, as some folks in the booktube community refer to her as. So this one was a thriller, and so basically it's our main character is this young woman who's down on her luck, but with a ton of secrets. So she is living out of her car. She's just been fired from a job, and she's desperate. She's looking for a job, and she somehow, I guess, stumbles upon. I think she stumbled upon a wanted ad or something like that for a housemaid position, a housekeeper position, and she goes to the interview. She's putting on this whole front. She's got fake glasses. She wants to make sure that that she looks professional. So she wears like this really, I guess, I don't want to say off-putting. She wears this ensemble that's basically like this non-threatening outfit, kind of like a boring librarian look. So when she's interviewed by the wife, the lady of the house, I mean, she's just kind of gushing over the housemaid. Lord, let me look her name up really quick. Let's see if we can get our main female character's name at the very least. So the wife's name is Nina. Millie. Okay. I'm sorry, my nose is itching. I just gotta scratch the side of my nose. Alright, so Millie is our main character. Anyway, so Millie sounds like this beautiful girl who's doing everything she can to try to make herself look not as beautiful. But anyway, so Millie lands the job, you know, and then like little weird things start happening with the wife Nina. So she goes from like this like, oh, overly happy person to have Millie to basically like the step monster, you know, like a switch flips or whatever. And she starts, I don't know, kind of targeting Millie. Kind of becomes a little erratic, a little unstable, just over time. Like the wife just keeps kind of spiraling downward and devolving and becoming overly suspicious of Millie. And I don't know, it's not physically aggressive, but like kind of like verbally aggressive with Millie. And eventually Millie and the husband, which I'm trying to look for his name. I can't find his name. But anyway, Millie and the husband kind of develop feelings for one another. And the tension in the story builds. Andrew, that's the husband's name I'm looking at. Andrew. So Millie and Andrew kind of start developing these little secret feelings for each other. And so you have the tension between Nina, like the bad tension, and then you have like the good tension between Millie and Andrew, where they're trying to fight their feelings for each other. So anyway, eventually all this tension is going to, or it's not going to, but it does. Eventually all the tension comes to a head, and bit of a twist happens. Like more than one twist happens in this book. So I rated this one a 3, and not, 3 is not bad, 3 is middle, that's the middle of the road for me. So it was good. It was good enough. It wasn't great for me. It was good. It was fast paced. It kept me engaged, but I don't know. It was just good. It was good for me. Okay. The next book I read in January was actually a reread, and it was The Gilded Ones, and the author is, I believe it's either pronounced Namina or Namina. Let me know down in the comments, is it Namina or Namina? Because I listened to it on Audible, and the narrator pronounced her name Namina. So, Namina Forna. Okay, so this one is a young adult fantasy, high fantasy. So this story follows Deka, a 16-year-old girl living in the village of Earfoot, which is in the country or continent of Otera. So, did I say it already that she's 16? Okay, I think I did. Okay, so there is a ritual throughout all of Otera, and it is the ritual of purity. So when a girl reaches the age of 16, they have a ceremony where a girl is cut, and it's a big to do, big ceremony. They wear these masks and elaborate outfits and whatnot. So anyway, so when a girl turns 16, they have this big ceremony, and the girl's hands are cut. If the girl bleeds red, it means that her blood is pure. It means that she is pure, and she's entering womanhood, and, hey, she is perfect for marriage. Perfect, right? So if during the ceremony the girl's cut and she bleeds gold, she's believed to be a demon, or she's evil, and most times these girls are killed. Because I do believe that the thought is that their blood, their gold blood, draws these monsters known as death shrieks to the village. And these death shriek monsters come to the village and kidnap young girls, and they're believed to to eat them or kill them, because these girls are never seen or heard from again. So anyway, so basically, you know, like I said, when a girl's blood turns gold, they're either killed, they're banished, or they are enlisted to join the king's army. So, not the king, the emperor's army. Oh yes, and so for the girls whose blood runs gold, they are known as, or maybe it's once they join the emperor's army. When they join the emperor's army, they're known as the Alaki, and they have these like superhuman abilities and strength. Okay, so Deka is faced with this choice, you know, join the emperor's army or basically stay in this village and get murdered. So, what would you do? what kind of choice is that? Duh, Deka joins the army. So for me, like the greatest thing or the best part of this book is the friends that Deka makes, you know, amongst these other Alaki, these other girls from all over Otera, and they just form this bond, you know, because basically all of Otera, you know, think that they're demons, and you know they're vilifying these girls, and they're, you know, demonizing them, and you know they find strength in each other. They find strength in their strength. You know, society is like, oh God, they're demons. You know, their blood, oh, it's impure, and they're like, I could bench press 150 of you dudes. Like, I'm strong, I'm woman. Hear me roar. So, but really, it's the found family. I love it, and Deka and her BFF. Who, child? I adore them. What's her best friend's name? I can't think of it right now. Oh my God! But I love them. I love their friendship, and but when I heard the narrator reading for her best friend, I kept this. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up really quick. Britta. Okay. I hope I can cut all that out. Deka and Britta. I love their friendship. Absolutely love their bond. But the narrator who narrates her voice in the first book, I don't know why, but like when Britta is speaking, I get the vision of this actress from Sex Education, and I'll see if I can find a picture and insert it in here. But yes, whenever I hear Britta's voice, I see this actress's face, and I'm just like, so throughout listening to the book, this was Britta, that was Britta. But yes, just an excellent book. Excellent, you know, the best part of it was the friend group. All right, so the next book that I read in January was The Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which is also a young adult fantasy / romantasy. So our main female character in this book is Xingyin, or Xingyin. I'm probably mispronouncing that and butchering that. So if I am, please in the comments put the correct pronunciation if you know how to pronounce that correctly. So Xingyin is the daughter of the moon goddess, and so they live in the immortal realm, but their palace is in, there's like a whole world map in the book. So this one I actually read the physical book of. The Gilded Ones and House of Eve were Audible books. Housemaid was a Kindle U book. Okay, so we'll have a little map here. Mappy map. On the map. Alright, so they live in the Pure Light Palace in the Immortal Realm. Anyway, so Zingin's mom is the moon goddess, and her job is to light the moon. You know, light the lights. You know, she's the moon goddess. She's in charge of lighting the moon every night. So little does Zingin know that her mother was actually exiled on the moon by the celestial emperor. So she doesn't know that. She just knows that, hey, I live on the moon in this wonderful palace with my mom and my mom's attendant, Pinger. So one day, Zingin is forced to flee her home, right? So she's forced to flee her home. She's never been outside of this palace, right? So she's forced to flee her home, and she has to like blend in because you know there are people after her and her mom's attendant, and she doesn't know why, but she just knows that hey, you know, she had to leave for her safety. There are people who would, if they knew she existed, they would want to kill her. I think her mom even tells her maybe that hey, you know, if the emperor and the empress knew that you were alive, you know, they'll kill you. So anyway, yes, I think mom gives her that kind of warning. So yeah, let me kind of back it up a little bit. So one day they get these visitors at the palace, and Xingyan is kind of meddling. You know, mom told her, hey, I need you to hide. Nobody knows you're here. Nobody's supposed to know you're here. Go hide, stay put. Don't do anything. Don't use your magic. Don't do anything to bring attention to you. So, of course, being you know, a child, and not even child, like this is a teenage girl. She snoops, does something she ain't supposed to do, which kind of didn't outwardly expose her, but it did raise the suspicions of folks that something was amiss with her mother. So anyway, so Xingyan falls to the world below. She's somewhere in the immortal realm, and she has this goal that, hey, I'm going to blend in, I'm going to do what I have to do to survive, but my ultimate goal is to find my way back to my mom. She finds herself being an attendant in like this house or whatever, and one day she meets this guy, kind of hanging out. He's kind of flirty, kind of annoying, and unbeknownst to her, he's actually a prince. And not just a prince, he's the prince, okay? So, Xingyan kind of lucks herself into this competition. So, the competition is for, I guess, like young women to become basically almost like study buddies with the prince. So you win the competition, you get to go to the palace, you get to study alongside him, kind of I don't know, like an in-house friend or something like that. Anyway, so a friendship forms between Xingyan and the prince, and I believe his name is pronounced Liwi or Liwei. Liwi. I was saying Liwi throughout the book when I was reading it. He was Liwi. So this friendship forms, but you can also tell underneath that they like each other, that there's some romantic designs there. She studies with him, does some like military training and things like that. And then she learns about her mother. She learns more about, I guess, her mother's situation and why her mother's exiled. So she learns about this great honor, this great military honor. So if you complete a task that's so great and you're rewarded this, I guess it's like a medallion or something. If you are rewarded this by the emperor will grant you a favor. So Xingyan gets it in her head, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm going to join the military. I'm going to become a total badass. I'm going to win that daggone award. And I am going to ask the emperor to grant my mother clemency, you know, to remove this, the sentence on her, you know, get my mom out of exile. So, and that's what that's what she sets out to do. You know, she becomes like a total badass in the army. So, something happens. Oh, y'all. UPS just pulled up. Oh my gosh. I've been waiting on this package. I'm super excited because you already know what it is. It's books. Okay. Let's get back to the review, okay? Sorry, I'm super excited. Oh my God, that UPS truck has me distracted. Anyway, okay, so back to this. Okay, so Xingyin, Li Wei. Oh my God. When do they ever ring the doorbell? Okay, sorry about this, guys. Normally they just back and go. Let me get this package off the porch. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's so big. Okay, we are not opening this on this video, just for the record. Let me make sure this is, yo bro, where's the label? Oh, yep. All right. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. We got it. We're good. All right, so, anyway, all this is going on. Xinyan's trying to stay focused. I gotta join the army. I gotta get, grant my mom's freedom. But, there's also this little romance kind of blossoming between her and Li Wei, which she knows ultimately, like, hey, this can't really happen. He's the prince. He's the prince of the, the celestial emperor and empress, the people who have exiled my mom. They had some beef with my dad, possibly. And not to mention the fact that the empress seems to hate her and what she stands for. She's, Xingyin is, distracting Li Wei and, upsetting the balance, So, but just to see that their little romance is so, because it's, it's just forbidden. It's just so, sweet, It's so, oh. And then enters Winsy. And Winsy becomes another potential love interest of Xingyin. So it's kind of this little love triangle and stuff. Okay, good book, love triangle situation, lots of action. Gave it 5 stars. There's no, I will say it's because like it's a young adult, so there's not a lot of, if you're looking for heavy spice, it's not in this. It is very, the spice that's there, it's kind of closed door. It's things that are kind of alluded to and hinted at. It's just very innocent. It's an innocent love story. And it's so good. It's so good. And the will they or won't they? Like, will they make it? Will they get together? Won't they? Who will she choose? So good. All right. So those were my reads for January.